Imagine a peaceful morning jog turning into a fatal encounter. On February 22, 2024, 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley set off on her usual run around the University of Georgia's campus, but she never made it back. Her life was cut short by a brutal attack that left the entire campus and community devastated. The person responsible? A stranger lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike. This is the heartbreaking story of Laken Riley, a promising young woman whose life ended far too soon. Riley was the kind of person who radiated warmth wherever she went. Born and raised in Augusta, Georgia, Laken was a bright, caring young woman with dreams of making a difference in the world. From a young age, she had a deep desire to help others, and that passion led her to pursue a career in nursing. She was a nursing student at Augusta University's satellite campus in Athens, where she thrived academically and socially. Laken wasn't just a good student. She was someone who loved life. She was active in her community and a member of the Alpha Delta Pi sorority, where she forged close bonds with her sisters. Friends described her as compassionate, hardworking, and someone who always put others before herself. Laken's family was immensely proud of her, knowing that she was on her way to achieving her dreams. Athens, Georgia, where Laken had been living while studying, is a charming college town, known for its southern hospitality and tight-knit community. It's a place where students walk through leafy streets, coffee shops line the sidewalks, and life feels serene. The University of Georgia's campus, with its historic buildings and scenic green spaces, is the heart of the town. It's the kind of place where people feel safe going for a run in the early morning or late evening. And that's exactly what Laken thought on the morning of February 22, 2024, when she set off on her jog. But the tranquility of that morning would soon be shattered by a random act of violence that would leave the community in shock. Laken left her apartment early that morning, running her usual route through the University of Georgia's intramural fields and around Lake Herrick, a popular spot for joggers and students seeking a quiet retreat. It was a route she had run many times before without a second thought. However, by the time afternoon rolled around, her friends became worried. Laken had not returned from her jog, and she wasn't responding to calls or texts. Panic set in, and her friends reported her missing. A search was launched immediately. Officers and volunteers scoured the area around Lake Herrick, combing through trails and wooded paths, hoping to find any sign of Laken. As dusk approached, the search team stumbled upon a chilling scene deep in the woods. Behind a thick cover of trees and foliage, they found her lifeless body, hidden near the banks of Lake Herrick. She had been dragged to a secluded area, far from the jogging path.
University of Georgia police say Laken Riley's friend reported her missing after she went for a jog on the campus's intramural fields Thursday morning, but never came home. Police were called at noon. 38 minutes later, investigators found her body in the woods near a lake on campus.
Laken's body bore the evidence of a brutal attack. She had visible injuries to her head, and though emergency responders tried to revive her, it was already too late. Laken was declared dead at the scene. What had started as a routine missing persons case quickly spiraled into a full-scale murder investigation. The subsequent autopsy revealed that Laken had suffered from blunt force trauma to the head, her skull disfigured from the impact of a heavy object, according to the coroner. Investigators discovered that Laken had made a desperate attempt to call 911 during the assault, but her attacker had prevented her from completing the call, silencing her cries for help. She had been dragged from the path where she jogged to the hidden spot where her body was later found. As authorities combed through evidence after discovering Laken's body, they learned that she had valiantly attempted to call for help during her assault. Her desperate bid for rescue was cut short when her attacker silenced her cries, revealing the horrifying struggle she endured. Investigators pieced together her last moments, tracing her route and identifying the location where she was taken, a secluded area away from the jogging path where her life would be brutally ended. The swift response of law enforcement was instrumental in narrowing down the list of suspects. Investigators quickly began canvassing the area, speaking to witnesses who might have seen or heard anything unusual on the day of the attack. They reviewed nearby surveillance footage from businesses and homes along Laken's jogging route, seeking any signs of suspicious activity or individuals. Within 24 hours of the grim discovery, investigators identified 26-year-old José Antonio Ibarra as a primary suspect. Key to this identification was the surveillance footage, which showed a figure matching Ibarra's description lurking near the jogging path shortly before Laken's last known sighting. Tips from the community provided valuable leads, as some locals recognized Ibarra from previous encounters. Furthermore, law enforcement connected Ibarra's known whereabouts with the timeline of the attack, including his criminal history of theft and window peeping, which indicated a pattern of troubling behavior. This established a clear motive and opportunity, allowing authorities to obtain a warrant for his arrest. After José Antonio Ibarra's arrest, authorities worked swiftly to build a strong case against him.
We are obtaining arrest warrants for José Antonio Ibarra, 26 years of age. He lives here in Athens, but is not a U.S. citizen.
UGA police have taken José Antonio Ibarra into custody in connection with the death of 22-year-old Laken Riley.
He has been charged with the following: malice murder, felony murder, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, false imprisonment.
During interrogation, his inconsistent statements and nervous demeanor raised suspicions, leading investigators to pursue additional evidence. Crucial forensic analysis revealed DNA from the crime scene matched Ibarra, directly linking him to Laken's assault. Enhanced surveillance footage further corroborated his presence near the jogging path, showcasing a distinctive tattoo that witnesses recognized. The combination of forensic evidence, witness testimonies, and surveillance footage solidified the case against Ibarra, ultimately confirming him as Laken's attacker and paving the way for prosecution. José Antonio Ibarra, a 26-year-old Venezuelan national, entered the U.S. unlawfully in 2022. Before the tragic events surrounding Laken's murder, Ibarra had a criminal history that included theft and voyeurism, which involved peeping into windows. Despite his criminal background, Ibarra had managed to remain under the radar, evading deportation and continuing to live freely in the U.S. He wasn't a student at the University of Georgia, and police quickly confirmed that he had no prior connection to Laken. This was a random act of violence. Laken had simply been in the wrong place at the wrong time. The details of Ibarra's attack were chilling. According to court documents, Ibarra had been spotted earlier that day engaging in suspicious behavior near the campus, including peering into windows and loitering around the jogging paths. It's believed that he had been stalking the area, waiting for a victim. When Laken crossed his path during her jog, Ibarra seized the opportunity. Ibarra attacked Laken, hitting her with a blunt object and preventing her from calling for help. He then dragged her body to a secluded area, where he left her to die. The brutality of the attack shocked even seasoned investigators, who described the scene as one of the most horrific they had encountered. On May 8, 2024, the grand jury of Clark County indicted the suspect with 10 charges, 3 charges of felony murder, malice murder, false imprisonment, kidnapping, aggravated assault with intent to rape, hindering a 911 call, concealing the death of another, and peeping Tom. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. Bail was denied. The district attorney is seeking the sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole for the suspect. In a court filing, the defense attorneys submitted a motion to move the trial to another county due to the media attention surrounding the case. The jury selection is to begin on November 13, 2024. The trial is expected to take place on November 18, 2024. Laken Riley's death sent shockwaves through the University of Georgia and beyond. Students held vigils in her honor, placing flowers and candles near the spot where her body was found. Her sorority, Alpha Delta Pi, held a memorial service where friends shared stories of her kindness, her sense of humor, and her passion for nursing. The nursing school at Augusta University also established a scholarship in Laken's name, ensuring that her legacy would live on through the education of future nurses. Laken's parents became passionate advocates for stricter immigration enforcement after the tragic case involving Ibarra. They gained support from local leaders and national figures, including former President Bill Clinton, who emphasized the need for comprehensive immigration reform to protect citizens. Meanwhile, Donald Trump highlighted the case in his speeches, using it to argue for tougher immigration laws. Their advocacy led to the passing of the Laken Riley Act, aimed at tightening protocols for detaining immigrants with violent criminal histories. The act sparked a national debate, drawing attention from both sides of the political spectrum as communities grappled with the complexities of immigration policy and public safety.